see that guy at the piano?
That's Todd Field, the director of Tar. 24 years before making Tar, Todd Field was playing the role of a pianist in Stanley Kubrick's last ever film, Eyes Wide Shut. And this is no coincidence. Eyes Wide Shut and Tar have a lot in common, even their runtime is almost identical. But more than specific common points or stylistic similarities, there's a technique used by both these films that make them so peculiarly mysterious.
Fräulein, Betreten verboten.
What is that technique exactly? In order to answer this question, we must first ask, what is mystery? Is it simply asking a question and then kind of leaving it unanswered? Most mystery films revolve around the question. For example, in The Usual Suspects, the question is,
who's Kaiser Sose? Oh, fuck.
So the detective asks the questions while the only witness gives us a series of flashback stories that bring us closer to the answer. And finally, we do arrive at the answer, only to realize that the answer was sitting in front of the question maker all the time, while what we witnessed throughout the film was the fabrications of Kaiser Sose.
Tell me you got the cripple in there from New York.
Yeah.
He mentioned Kaiser Soze.
Who?
After that, my guess is you'll never hear from him again.
Sometimes the surprise comes from the very fact that the answer we were looking for throughout the film never arrives, as in the Zodiac.
Can I help you?
No.
And sometimes the answer is reached by the end. But in the quest to find the answer, other questions are raised which grabs our attention.
Do you think if Catherine lives, you won't wake up in the dark ever again to that awful screaming of the lambs?
I don't know. I don't know.
But how about taking this to another level and asking a question that has no answer, or has two answers, none of which are sufficiently correct? This is the technique that both Tar and Eyes Wide Shut use to great effect. They center their story around a philosophical dilemma that is not easily solved.
I'm sorry, I'm unclear as to what his prodigious skills in the marital bed have to do with B minor.
At first, Tar seems to be entirely about his protagonist, but after the confrontation that she has with her student in the classroom, her personal life story takes on a new dimension. It becomes a case study for the central thematic question of the film.
You a fucking bitch.
And you are a robot.
So now everything that comes after this scene about Lydia Tar's life makes us think back to the initial question. At the same time, Tar's life is presented to us from a limited perspective. We don't have all the information. So as we try to wrap our head around the dilemma between the artist's life and the artist's work, we also have to try to figure out the relationship between Tar and Krista Taylor.
There's nothing we could have done to stop her. She wasn't one of us.
And as we gather visual evidence that might tell us something about their relationship, we also have to account for sounds, which convey a different message. This is mystery within mystery.
Now, it's not until it changes, you get inside it, that you hear what it really is. It's a question. And an answer. Which begs another question.
We see this exact structure in Eyes Wide Shut. Just at the moment that our protagonist is deep in thought over the conflict between the passion of lust and the loyalty in love, Kubrick takes us to the most bizarre world of secret parties, opening up a whole host of questions over the origins and consequences of partaking in this party. Questions that are not all related to the original dilemma, but nonetheless contribute to creating an atmosphere of total wonder, expanding the initial philosophical mystery to a visual and abstract level. The effect of this is that we witness one giant question unfold before our eyes. and the films emphasize more than anything else that we chew on this question, inside our own minds. It is in fact the unique role of the arts to create such spaces where our opinions are suspended for a short time, and we get to stare at the question and the question only, where the discourse is not solved through words, but explored through images.